Now when you're putting this together, you're going to see that it's really rough because it's the sanding that makes this project. The more careful you are as you cut the piece out, obviously the less sanding you'll have to do. But you're definitely going to have to do a good amount of finish sanding, and that's why you're probably going to want to use power sanders to get this done, because you're going to have to take away quite a bit of material. And the next piece. Now this piece, this is where we would stop on the top half of the bowl, and you're going to cut the third piece that's going to go the opposite direction. You can see this one won't fit, so you're going to need the next bigger one. So this would be how the finish of the top of the bowl is going to be, with the other concentric ring flipped over the other way. But on the bottom, this is what we need. And the last, we'll put the bottom piece on here. Now I generally will just take a heavy weight and put on top of this until it dries up. I usually go ahead and flip it over, make sure everything's lined up pretty good, and then just usually put a big bottle of glue on top of it. So we'll let that dry, and then we will go to the sander. Okay, the bottom half of the vase has finished drying now. And you can see by looking at it, it's pretty rough. We've got all the saw marks still in here. The pieces aren't flushed together. So this is where the sanding comes in. Now the way to do this is to finish the bottom half of the vase and sand it up and get it nice and smooth and ready to go. And then we'll create the top half of the vase and sand it down, and then glue the two pieces together. And then once you get them glued together, you'll have some more finish sanding. So I'll show you how I do this on my power sander. Now again, you could do this by hand. It's just going to take a lot more work. So however you decide to sand this down, you just got to work on it until you get it nice and smooth. What I do is I put my power sander in the upright position, and I present the bowl to the piece like this. If you go at a straight up and down angle, it doesn't seem to do a very good job. It wants to catch. So I present it at an angle just enough to where I can get the piece fit across the sandpaper, and I just make turns like this until I get the piece finished. Okay, you can see I got quite a bit of it sanded off already. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off, and I'll finish sanding this. Now we want a good smooth finish, so work on this until you get it right. And then I'll meet you back over at the assembly table. Back over here at the assembly table now, as you can see, we've got the bottom half of the vase created. And I'm going to stop the video here because the top half is just a duplication of the bottom. The only difference will be that when you do the top half, you're only going to do the 4 top rings. And the top of the vase will stop right here. And then this piece will be, the third piece, just flipped over. So it'll actually take 3 blanks to create it, because you're going to want 1 extra piece for your top of the vase here. So you can see I've sanded the outside down really smooth. I've got all the blade marks out of it. It'll take some finish sanding up to probably 320 grit to get it nice and smooth. On this one, after I finished sanding it, I finished it with a spray lacquer. The inside of the bowl, I haven't worked on sanding yet, or the vase. You do want to get in here, and you'll have to do most of this by hand. If you've got a power sander that has one of the foam wheels on the end of it, you might be able to get in there and get some of it out. But you definitely want to get the inside of this sanded a little better than it is right now. And then you can go ahead and put it together and end up with this little vase. Okay, that's the end of this project. Please visit my blog at www.scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com.